Am I here? Not yet. There you are. Are you in the picture? Yeah. Nothing's happening here.
Oh, it's frozen.
No, it's not. This is you. This is the past. What's happening here? Live stream. Oh, God. An error occurred. What? It is working?
Right.
Thank you, Heather. You can see me looking really confused. Okay, can you hear me? You can see me. Oh, yeah, you probably see my husband behind me. Yeah? Am I sounding like how I'm sounding, or am I delayed? Okay. All right. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to go over to the non-YouTube my thing because I'm so I am not this not tech savvy. I'm just going to make sure. All right. Okay. All right. I'm going to ask my friend Heather, can you text me and tell me if you hear me? Yep, audio's good. Audio's good. Okay, everybody else is saying audio's good. All right. Oh my goodness. No delay? No delay? Okay, you guys are so nice. I'm usually a little bit more confident with this sort of thing. All right. Hi. Let's officially say hi. Yay. Hi. Yay. Hi. And hi. Hey, everybody. Okay. Okay. So, I'm Adrienne. Most of us have met on Twitter and things. It's nice to see you. I'm not really seeing you. I'm only seeing myself, and it's also making me really uncomfortable to see myself. I should probably just block everything. I am, because we're all kind of stuck inside, including myself. I thought we could have a little fun, and I could read from Dreams Come to Life, which is for the Bendy verse, and that's sort of my plan. And oh, Heather has just texted me back saying that was freaky, and it's totally good. Okay, God, forgive me. This is baby's first stream. I have Skyped school visits. I have done FaceTime, but for some reason this is wildly different and terrifying. Yes, it is cute, fluffy Boas. He is so cute and fluffy. Yes, there he is. I realize you're a little, I'm getting a delay on the live chat, so we're talking through time and space, guys. Like, this is so incredible. We are like going to totally Doctor Who this thing. Right. So I guess most of you guys know who I am, but I'll just introduce myself on the off chance a stranger has stumbled into the wrong space. Stay, don't go, we're going to have fun. I am an author, and my name is Adrienne Kress, and that is my name. And I have to tell you guys, when you get your first book published and you see your name on the cover, there's really nothing quite like it. It is the most exciting thing, and you cry and you cry. But I cry all the time anyway. I cry if it's like a Thursday or something. And so I'm going to, I think, just start. I mean, people did say I should wait till 2:10. So, or at least one person say, hey, streaming is tricky. You know, you're doing great for. Aw, thank you, Kat. I appreciate that. All the compliments are very welcome. Oh, guys, can you see my Bendy necklace? It's sort of reflecting off the light, but there's my Bendy necklace. I feel like we should start a petition, guys, within fandom. I would like more Bendy-based jewelry. I think we should bug Fat Mojo about that because I was thinking maybe like a charm bracelet where you could get like an axe and like the Tommy gun and then like maybe like a face or something. So that's just my personal opinion. But I do think my opinion's right. So there you go. Oh no, yes, I am trapped indoors like you too, Pablo. I mean, we don't have a backyard, or I live in an apartment. We have French doors, which is very fancy. It just means doors that open and you can't go out onto a balcony like it's, they call them Juliet balconies because that's like Juliet, Romeo, Romeo, wherefore art thou, Romeo. But that's about it. Yeah. Ooh, Bendy scrunchies. Oh, yes. Why am I here, YouTube? I think that's what YT stands for. Yes, Bendy scrunchies. Yes. I agree. I do have the Bendy bows. Those are very cute, but a scrunchie would be... Yes, Devil Darling, you did. I've been waiting till 2:10 because that's what I was told by somebody, one Twitterer, can't remember who now. And so I'm being good. Yes. Yes, subtle ways, Kat. Exactly. We've been like, I mean, it's fun to go for it, but it's nice to have like a little something, and then people sort of look. And I don't think they have earrings. I would love like little studs, like of the faces or little dangly. There are just so many options from the game that would actually really work well as an accessory. So I would like that, is what I'm saying. Yes, yes. Yes, a twisted Alice necklace would be sick. All kinds. I'm really, okay, so I don't actually own a charm bracelet, but I'm really into the concept, and I would totally buy one if I could get, I'm just looking at my empty wrist. Yes, yes, my wrist. My wrist longs for a charm bracelet. Yes. I don't know, I just think that'd be cute. And also, like skater dresses, because we've got a lot of t-shirt options, but I think like a dripping ink, just cute little, the skater dress is pretty flattering for like a lot of shapes. That would be really nice. Yeah. Okay. All right. I'm waiting. Should I wait? I'm going to go quickly check over at Twitter to see if anybody has any thoughts or anything. Oh, Cartoon Kitty, you were very wise. Maybe I should tell people I'm doing this right now. Okay. I'm going like, we are live. I am talking random stuff. Going to start reading in 1 minute. Okay. All right. Tweet. All right. I'm done. I want to hang out with you guys. All right. Yeah. Right. Thank you, Cartoon Kitty. Thank you. I just think, I'm right. Okay. Hi, Nightshade. All right. Small marble, like very small marble. All right, yes, okay. I feel like that's almost passive-aggressive. Small marble. I'm teasing you, by the way. Yes, I can't wait for the reading, too. I should probably start it. Okay, now we have to put on my glasses. As you see, there we go. I mean, and I'm thinking bendy glasses, but I don't think that would make sense. I have speaking of glasses, my glass of water. So this is the plan. I was thinking of reading, obviously, the prologue because, it's quite short. And, hi from Wales. Hi. Oh, no, why am I here? Okay, say hi to your mom and tell her it's literature. We're doing something very educational here, okay? Thank you, Small Marble, for realizing I was teasing. Awesome, thank you. Sometimes people don't always know. So I am going to, read the prologue and chapter 1. That was my plan, because chapter 1, as those of you who've read it, is rather long. I'll check in with you guys. I don't think you'll want me to read more than that, but we'll check in. And so, guys, it's 2:10, so I'm going to start. Oh, just in time my fridge turned off, so now it's nice and quiet. All right. This angle is a little awkward, but it's the only way to do it. Okay, first of all, for those of you who haven't seen, the inside with the ink dripping is one of my absolute favorite things. Favorite things. And it's here as well. And the prologue, as you can see, is white on black, which I think is super cool. All right, here we go. Oh, wait, New York accent. There we go. All right. I see that smile everywhere. It greets me in the darkness suddenly, around a corner, in my dreams. That big, wide grin. Mouth full of teeth that look flat and even. You'd never know how sharp they are until you're sliding down his gullet. That little devil darling. I can't escape it. What I'm about to tell you is going to sound unbelievable. I'm no fool. Folks are going to read this and think, I don't know who this Buddy guy thinks he is, but he ain't gonna griff me. But I have to write it down. I have to tell the story. Even if no one believes me, I have to while there's still time. Before. Every sound, every creak. I'm looking for that smile. Anyone would say I was going loopy, but I know what's true. I know what I've seen. I know what's happened. You've got to read carefully. Words were never really my thing, but I got to use them because you can't trust the drawings. You can't trust the drawings. There's a lot of other folks involved, too many. But if I can protect just one person, just one, from what they've become, what we've all become, if you can find this Dot, if you can find us, I guess I should begin at the beginning and go on until the end. All right, chapter 1, and we're now in the black on white. Dreams come true, buddy. That's what he said. Mr. Drew was no liar. Problem is, yeah, dreams come true, but so do nightmares. Package deal. I didn't understand any of that for a long time, to be honest. Dreams came true? For who? Rich folks, sure, but my family. Dreams were quick breaks between working your hands to the bone every day. I wish I could really capture what the Lower East Side was like in the summer of 1946. I wish I could draw a picture of it. The sidewalks melting into the street and seeping into the sewer grates. Steam squiggle lines rising up towards a harsh white sky. Big, fat, juicy drops of water coming off of folks' foreheads. Maybe the word sizzle floating in the air. But I can't draw it. I have to tell it. I'm trying to remember what I learned from you, Dot. How to write a good story. I have to remember what you used to say, to use all the 5 senses, not just sight. Writing isn't drawing. The 5 senses. What are the other 4 again? Right. Sound. Kids laughing and yelling at one another. Adults shouting. Glass breaking, and then the sound of fists on flesh. Fights always happen when it got this hot. Nothing to do, nowhere to go. And the brain doesn't work, turns to pink, sloppy mush inside your skull, sloshing around and ready to pour out your ears. Touch. Your skin always felt slick with sweat, and everything under your fingers felt wet because you were wet. There was no way to feel dry. Smell. The air was always stale and still, unable to go up over the sides of the tall tenement buildings. It mostly smelled of piss. Made you want to throw up. Sometimes it did throw up. Oh, that's another one, the smell of throw up. Taste. Taste. Sorry, I can't remember the taste right now. It's too hard. All I can taste is bitter in my mouth. That lingering taste of ink. Okay, so you get it. It was hot. And it matters you understand that because I would have done anything to get out of this kind of hot, out of this neighborhood. I've been running between sweatshops for a couple of years now, ever since Pa died. Ma had taken over sewing the pre-cut fabrics together, and I had dropped out of school and taken over for my cousin Lenny, delivering the finished suits and jackets to the boss, Mr. Schwartz. And then, delivering the new pieces to Ma so she could do it all over again. We needed the cash, and that was the only way I could make Ma smile. I miss that. Ma's smile. Gentle, calm, warm, the kind that reached all the way to her eyes. Not like his smile. Not like his smile at all. Anyway, I got paid, which was what was important. But I was almost 17 now, and most of the other boys were just turning 12, and it felt stupid to be so old doing this job. And so when Mr. Schwartz suggested I'd be his go-to delivery guy and explained I'd get to leave the neighborhood to travel all over the city, I said yes. There was green in other parts of the city, trees and stuff. And the fancy neighborhoods didn't smell like piss. And when I brought a finished suit to the Upper East Side, I could take a walk in the park and dip my feet in the boat lake. More important than any of that, I could watch the artists along the mall drawing pictures for tourists. Cartoons. I could watch them closely. This is where the problem started. First off, evidently artists are temperamental. Hey, kid, what do you think you're doing? Just watching, sir. Maybe this time I'd got a bit nearer to the canvas than usual. Get out of here with your watching. It was like getting to go to art school, except that at art school the teachers don't chase you away and tell you you're scaring off the customers because you're hovering too close. But that wasn't the biggest thing. See, something I haven't said, because I guess you know by now, is I'm an artist. Well, now. Then I wasn't, but wanted to be. Not sure why. Maybe it had something to do with my grandfather I'd never met, who was still back in Poland. I figured he must love art after all. The one big thing he'd saved and sent with Ma from the old country, as she called it, was those darn paintings. People always were surprised to see these huge oil paintings in the small tenement apartment. She could have sold them for a lot of money, but she didn't. And that always stayed with me. I started by drawing sketches late at night, sleeping in and being late for class. Then I got sent to the principal's office a lot for doodling during the day, and boy, I loved the funny pages. I'd run around the neighborhood collecting discarded newspapers, hoping to read the latest Popeye or Dick Tracy. I even started drawing comics, making up adventures with Olive Oyl, Prune Face, Sparkle Plenty. Soon I was inventing my own characters. They weren't funny. I didn't show them to anyone. But then I found the artist in Central Park. And let's just say I got distracted. You lost the suit. Mr. Schwartz could be pretty scary for a man who is only 5 feet tall. I'm sorry, sir. I swear it'll never happen again. I'd only put it down for a second to get a closer look at a drawing, but that was enough time for someone else to be sneaky and scoop it up. What about last time? When you were 3 hours late, my client almost didn't make it to his appointment on time. I'm sorry, sir. You want to be my apprentice? You want to make a good, honest living? I really did. I needed the cash. We, my ma and I, needed the cash. And no one would hire some teenager from the slums who barely had an education. To be Mr. Schwartz's right-hand man, that was more than I could have hoped for. Boy, I felt stupid and ashamed. One more chance, buddy. One more. And then that's it. One more chance. This was my one last chance. Then I met him. When I first went to his studio to deliver him his suit, the clothing bag slung over my right shoulder, there'd been a blackout because of the heat. Not just in the studio's tall brick building, but also in the rest of the neighborhood. The flashing lights on the theater marquees were still, and as I passed by the dark sign for St. Louis Woman, 2 stagehands were staring up at the building, hands on hips, toothpicks dangling out of their mouths. Now what, Steve? Show must go on. That's what they say, all right. It hadn't really clicked in my mind. There'd been a blackout until a few blocks later west when I passed the theater off Broadway and finally arrived at the studio next door. I'd been super focused getting there, but I was already late. This time it wasn't my fault. It was a subway, I swear, but Mr. Schwartz wouldn't know the difference. I had to make up the time, so I was walking fast and not really noticing much of the world around me, but when I stepped into the muddy dock, it jarred me back to reality, and I stopped. And just stood there. It was so black you couldn't really tell which way was up. Then, suddenly, it was super bright, like someone was shining a light right at me. I held up my hand and the light flew off my face, and I watched as the beam scanned the room until it found a gray-haired older woman sitting behind a huge desk. I jumped, surprised to see her just appear like that. Gosh dang it, Norman, she said, squeezing her eyes shut behind the lenses of her oversized glasses. Projector's gone out, said Norman in a gruff voice. In case you hadn't noticed, the power's out everywhere. Get that flashlight out of my eyes. There was a pause, and then everything went black again with a click. Blacker, I should say, blacker. After the glare from the direct light, it was like not just the flashlight was turned off, but my eyes, too. It gave me shivers up my spine. I didn't know what to do. I had to deliver the suit already. I thought I could remember where the desk was, so maybe I could just stumble towards it. Who's the kid? Asked Norman from somewhere. I don't know, Norman. There was the sound of a match scratching a surface, and then that whoomph of a flame coming alive. The old woman's face was distorted grotesquely with long, drawn-out shadows drooping down as she lit a lantern in her hand. And then there was light. It flickered and danced off the walls, There were framed posters hanging on them. They looked like movie posters, but cartoons. And of one character in particular, he was real smiley. I wanted to take a closer look. Where was I? What was this place? Why did that character kind of look familiar? Okay, kid, I see you now. What do you want? Asked the woman, sitting down so low behind the desk, only her glasses and the top of her head were visible. It wasn't complicated, but I'd forgotten who I was delivering to and looked down, fumbling with the black clothing bag to find the name. Come closer, we can't hear a dang word you're saying, said the woman. Her hand appeared over the top of the desk and gave me a sharp wave to come over. I did while still searching for the name tag. I have a suit, I said, trying to buy time. Uh-huh, said the woman. Finally, I found the tag. This was the first time his name ever made any kind of impression on me. The first time it meant something. All that had mattered up until then was to get to the studio in time, to not get fired. That was the important part. So I knew the address, I knew it was on Broadway, but the name of the guy hadn't been anything I saw in my mind's eye. I hadn't pictured it. Come on, kid, I haven't got all day. Joey Drew, I said. I'm looking for a Mr. Joey Drew. Who's looking for him? Asked Norman, his voice filled with suspicion. Mr. Schwartz, I blurted out. It wasn't exactly the best answer, but the dark in this guy's attitude made me nervous for some reason. And somehow the flickering light over that smiling cartoon character thing didn't help either. Who? Asked the woman. The tailor who made the suit. I've got Mr. Drew's suit. I'm the delivery guy with his suit. He's dead, said Norman. I turned to the man. He was standing so far away from the lantern light he wasn't more than an outline. He is? My heart thudded in my chest. That didn't make sense and also scared me in a strange way I couldn't quite understand. Nah, replied Norman with a laugh. Nah, he ain't. I don't understand, I said, turning back to the old woman. She just shrugged and said, Norman's jokes aren't really something anyone understands. Oh, it was a joke. I looked back at the outline of the man. Norman was still laughing, but it didn't seem like a happy laugh. Didn't make me feel better, that's for sure. Come with me, he said. His girl's out for the afternoon. You can take it to him personally. I glanced at the woman and she nodded, so I figured that was permission to follow the guy, even though, I'll be honest, I really didn't want to. I decided Norman and I were likely never going to really get on, you know. The man clicked on his flashlight and led the way down a narrow hall. His beam was more direct than the glow from the lantern, and all I could really see was his silhouette in the far end where there was an elevator grate. Every once in a while, though, you'd catch a flash of another poster with more cartoon characters and such. They seemed so happy, even in the darkness, but they made me feel the same way as that smiling character from the foyer did. Weird. Can't use the elevator, said Norman. His face was still in shadow, and I nodded because obviously with the power out and all, so he pushed through the door next to it. The light flashed on the word stairs, though, I could have guessed. We started to climb together, Norman's light leading the way. Every once in a while, I'd look back into the pool of blackness. It almost felt like everything behind me was being erased, like I had to hurry up, or I'd be erased too. I'm just saying, it was really hot out, and my brain was making all kinds of stories. They say that life is stranger than fiction. But sorry, one second, I completely lost the accent. New York, there we go. They say that life is stranger than fiction, but I never thought anything could top the strange stuff in my mind. I was wrong. Norman stopped when we reached the third floor. I was sweating, I tell you. My shirt and undershirt were soaked through, hair matted to my head. There was this drip from the base of my neck, sneaking down under the collar. Here, kid, said Norman, handing me the flashlight. What's this for? I know my way back to the booth. You don't know nothing. Keep going. Good luck. I took the flashlight, and as Norman slipped deep into the shadows, I called out, Keep going where? Up, kid. Right up to the damn top. He laughed in the darkness. Man, I did not like that laugh. Newsy voice. Where is it? New York. There, I just have to say New York, and then I get it back. New York. Okay. All right. Man, I did not like that laugh. I don't think any of us do. So here I was. Mr. Drew's suit in one hand, a flashlight in the other, and a trickle of sweat that was working its way down my back to a not-so-happy location. And who knew how many stairs were up ahead of me? I shone the light straight up to try to guess, but the old wooden stairs seemed like they went on forever, straight up to heaven. I flashed the light down, saw the stairs beneath me, going on into the dark, straight down to, well, you get where I'm going with this. So I made my way up those stairs as fast as I could, and it was exhausting and hot. And I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it, and maybe it was because of the stairs that any of this happened. Because I tell you, that was Southern. Oh my gosh, guys, I'm sorry. Whew, all right, I'm going to take a sip, actually. That any of this happened, pause, sip. And we all say together, New York. All right, New York, here we go. So I made my way up those stairs as fast as I could, and it was exhausting and hot, and I wasn't sure I was going to be able to make it, and maybe it was because of the stairs that this happened. Because I'll tell you, when I got up to the top and came out of the doors and the air was even thicker all the way up here, the way, heat rises and all, I just collapsed, fell right onto the floor. Didn't pass out, just fell hard, and with this loud boom, and I guess Mr. Drew heard it because he came out of his office. Hey, what's with the racket? Even in my woozy state, his voice impressed me. It was so sure of itself and friendly. I can't tell you what makes a voice sound friendly exactly, but I don't think I'm the only one out there who would describe it like that. I think that's what made people like him. Trust him. I'm sorry, I said from the floor. I have a delivery for Mr. Joey Drew. I'm Mr. Joey Drew, he said, and a hand materialized in front of me. I was supposed to grab it, so I did. He helped me up. You okay? I nodded. Good. He didn't let go of my hand right away. Looked at it for a moment, almost like he was examining it. I wasn't really sure what he was doing, but it seemed a bit odd. Finally, he released it and said, Come into my office, kid. There were windows up here, so I could see without the flashlight. Sit. Drink this. Mr. Drew passed me a cup of warm water as I sat opposite him in his large wooden desk. I drank it, and it was like it came from a fresh mountain spring. So, he asked, leaning back in his chair, who are you, and what are you doing here? I took another big swig of water and then answered his questions. I'm a delivery guy for Mr. Schwartz, and I brought your suit. Ah, said Mr. Drew, slamming his hand hard on the desk and making me jump. I didn't know then how much he did that, though I never got used to it, I'll be honest. That's the suit. Fantastic. Pass it over. So I did, and Mr. Drew unbuttoned the bag and nodded. He had this way about him, this over-the-top way like he was performing on a stage so everyone could see even the tiniest of actions. When he approved of something like he did the suit, it was the best feeling in the world. This is swell. This is just swell. Look at that. That's a craftsman right there. Maybe because I was tired and hot, I don't know, but I said, actually, that's my ma's work. Mr. Drew looked at me, and I felt the blood drain from my face. Why'd I say that? I swore inwardly. Well, she's got skills. He put the suit down on the desk and leaned forward, looking at me closely, like he was trying to look through my eyes and into my brain or something. You got skills, kid. What? Your fingers. You're a writer? He asked. I looked at my fingers. They had ink stains on them, especially on my thumb and forefinger. I was so used to them being like that, I hadn't remembered that wasn't normal. I draw sometimes, I said. You draw sometimes. He smiled when I said that. I draw sometimes too. It was then I actually looked around his office. I was feeling a bit more myself now and was able to take it all in, the shelves of books and papers, the inkwells everywhere, a drafting table in the corner, and more posters. But not just posters, sketches, unfinished drawings with unreadable words next to them, arrows, cross-throughs. It was like wallpaper. There was so much of it all over everything. And the big desk that took up almost the whole back wall covered in more paper and books and one tall glass award for something and a framed picture of some cartoon character signed with the name Henry Stein. Wow, I said, couldn't help myself. I get feelings about people, kid. I get feelings. I just know sometimes. He handed me a piece of paper with a sketch of the smiling cartoon from downstairs. What do you see? I looked closer at it. The character didn't seem human. His body was basically an oval with spindly legs and arms coming out of it. But he wore black boots and white gloves, had a bow tie and everything. His face was round, and he had two big black eyes, but no nose. And that grin, that wide, toothy grin. I see a mischief maker, someone who has a lot of fun and gets in a lot of trouble, but that's okay. I glanced up at Mr. Drew. He was smiling almost exactly like the drawing. Yes, he said, pointing a finger at me. Exactly. You know how many people just say a cartoon? But you get it. I nodded. Sure, I thought, I guess. I looked down again. It was then that I noticed that the head wasn't entirely a circle. The top kind of looked like when you take a bite out of a cookie, but smooth, no teeth marks. Wait, I got this. His head had horns. Those were little horns at the top. He's a devil. I heard Mr. Drew push his chair back, scraping it along the wood floor. I looked up and watched as he walked around his desk and leaned against it, still smiling. Kid, how would you like to come work for me? I need a delivery boy of sorts, but just within the building. A gopher, delivering stuff between departments. Whatever Schwartz is paying you, I'll double it. I'll make sure you work out of the art department kind of like an apprentice. Give you a chance to prove yourself. And you might learn a few things along the way. At first, I didn't fully process what he was saying. When I did, I still didn't believe it. Here I was worried that Mr. Schwartz was going to fire me from my delivery gig, and now I was getting my dream job. Finally, I was able to give the man a smile and shake his hand. Good, he said. Excellent. Well, I'm Joey Drew, and this is my studio. You can call me Mr. Drew. Okay, Mr. Drew. And you are? Oh, I'm Daniel, sir, but everyone just calls me Buddy or Bud or whatever. Really, I don't care. Nice to meet you, Buddy. He reached out and took the drawing of the character from my hand. He turned it around so it was facing me. Side by side, they mirrored each other with their big smiles. And this, he said, tapping his finger on the picture, this is Bendy. End of chapter 1. Whew! That was... I am winded, guys. Oh my gosh, and now I see that was like 20 minutes, so that's good to know. Oh, my arms hurt. I really should get like a thing. What are those called? Like a stand, like a music. I used to play in orchestra, French horn, and you would think I would know that it was a... Oh my gosh, there's been so much conversation going on since I put it down. So guys, I don't think I can do another chapter today. Just physically, I don't think I can do it. But I would be very happy to do this again, maybe next week or something, if people would be up for it. Oh, I see clapping. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. I know we're slightly delayed here. So, yes. I could answer a few questions right now, with the understanding that there's so much I can't tell. So I can do my best with any Bendy questions, but I'm happy to actually answer any writing questions or also anything. Thank you, Devil Darling. Thank you. Yeah, the voices were a little, yeah, thank you, Mad Hatter. Yeah, the break. I haven't actually read that much of it before, and I haven't actually gotten to Joey before. I was like, I have to make him sound like Meatley's version of it. No, it's not the Meatley. It's Meatley does Henry. But anyways, I've done sign something like that. I'd love to get another chapter another time, Nightshade. Okay. Thank you, guys. Thank you. So does anyone have any questions? And I will sort of wait because I realize we're on a delay right now. Why am I here? I can't give you spoilers. I am very sorry. I cannot do it. But I do appreciate the insistent clapping. Oh, Cartoon K, that's very sweet. That was very, very sweet. And I think you absolutely can. I think the important thing is just keep writing and just keep reading and play with things. Like, don't ask permission to write something. If it feels weird or different, then just do it. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Oh, thank you, Frankinator, for my Brooklyn accent, my newsies. Look at me, I'm the king of New York. Okay. Was the violinist your idea, or did that come from the game developers? Oh yeah, well, so yeah, I actually it was really great because I had a lot of freedom, but you do, like, obviously you need to know that everything was worked on with the developers. But yes, the violinist began as my idea because obviously it just felt right, and then also had a bit of like the ring, like that, just sort of that terrifying long hair thing, and the violin is such a creepy, can sound, no offense to any violinist, can sound very creepy. So yes, it was. Matt Harrison, was there discussion? Yeah, there was. I definitely, like, I had a lot of, yes, I was given a lot of information, and in fact, before we were talking before Chapter 5 came out, and I had to sign an NDA and everything for that because there was a lot of information. So yes, I have a lot of information. I got this necklace, Leah, at Hot Topic, and I go back frequently to see if they have any more Bendy swag, and I can't find it again, and I just think this is like the best, and more people need to have it. Nightshade. Oh, okay. Well then, okay. So thank you. I'm glad, and I do. Well, obviously, I would recommend you read the whole thing. Also, so you don't have to wait for me. But I am, yeah. And there's actually, if you do like being read too, there's an official audiobook, and he's amazing. So I highly recommend the purchase of that. And besides, we want to support. We want to support Bendy, and we want to support the Meatly and Mike Mood and everyone. So let's, do everything legally. How much Bendy merch do I have? Well, I have these guys. I did post a picture once of myself wearing most of it. I have those guys. I have a Dreams Come True, because it's very close to Dreams Come to Life t-shirt. I have this. I have the bows. I have a lot of socks. A lot of, I wear them when I work out. A lot of, of the tennis socks. Yeah, I want more though. Is there another book planned? Secret, very secret. Secret. Do I know who was behind the book design with the ink dripping? Oh gosh, I went too far. Yes, I think it just says it might say on the inside. Like, if you're any of those sorts of questions, they often say book design by Betsy Peterschmidt, it says. So there's often information right on that first page, which is just great because we should give credit to people. And what's super cool, if you guys hadn't noticed, is Chapter 1 begins, like, look at the level of ink. And, oh gosh, where's my camera? Oh my gosh, how am I doing this? All right, there we go. And then by the end, by Chapter 23, I want to do it quick, no spoilers, you see the ink is dripping more, and I just think that's such a clever bit of design. Yeah, borrow some Bendy plushy babies. A writing question from Devil Darling. Yes. Oh my gosh, what gets me into the writing mood? Quite frankly, at this stage, not a lot. The biggest thing I learned when I wrote my very first book, Alex and the Ironic Gentleman, it's about pirates, available wherever books are sold. When I wrote that was the very first time I actually completed a full novel. And that taught me that you can write even when you're not inspired. And that, in fact, some of the writing that you force, like you're squeezing out of yourself, that writing can actually be just as good as the, wow, I'm so brilliant, inspired writing that just sort of comes on the keyboard. So honestly, for me, the thing, I love writing, but there's a saying, I'm not sure if it was Neil Gaiman, I don't know who it was anymore, but it's, I love writing, but I prefer having written. So I love the end result, but the act of writing is still really tough. So my biggest advice is, even if you're not inspired, write. So teach yourself to write, even if you're feeling like, I don't want to, first thing in the morning, I don't want to get up, even if you don't feel like it, and you'll be really surprised. The other thing I like to do is, if I don't know what to write, or if I'm in a blah mood, because, you do get inspired, but I find that that's I don't know, up in the heavens, so I can't describe where that comes from. But you can skip bits. So I tend to write sort of my favorite bits first, and then I call it knitting together, because I'm like taking one scene and then, so these are the two scenes, and then slowly like writing the bits that eventually connect them. So that's another little trick that I do. But remember, you can write, if you're typing on a computer, you can delete it all, you can copy, paste it to another file, nothing's gone, nothing's certain, you're not actually carving in stone, because that would be, imagine how great my like biceps would be though. You just play, and honestly, don't, if it's not that good at first, which most of our first drafts are meh, go back and you'll work on it. But you can't work on something you haven't written. I talk a lot, forgive me, but that is the answer to that question. I hope that works. Do I know what Sammy looks like? Oh, like under, no, I don't. I've seen a lot of amazing fan art, so I think that's incredible. Do I know about the board? Well, I know about the game. Yeah, I know about the latest board game, but I didn't know it was I was like, ooh, I want to play this too. Yes, definite Newsies fan. Huge Newsies fan. I was the right age when it came out. I was in love with every single boy in that cast, because they were all amazing and great dancers and singers. And I have subsequently actually seen, because there's a Broadway version of the show too, which is super cool, because even though I like Bill Pullman as the reporter on stage, not on stage, in the film, it's the opposite. In the film, the female characters were very small, very, very small. And so to actually sort of give that character over to make it a female character was really smart. What was the hardest thing in the book to work on from Nightshade? I don't know. I mean, okay, this is, all right, I do know. The hardest thing to work on was the scary. I am kind of a wuss. I'm really, like, this is the biggest irony of me writing this book and being a part of this series, is that I can't watch horror films, I can't read horror books, I could never read Goosebumps or anything. I'm working on it. I'm trying a little bit. I've watched, for example, now The Chilling Tales of Sabrina, and though it freaks me out, I'm getting better. So I will say, on the one hand, writing the scary stuff, I was nervous because I'm not an expert. I always tell people, you have to read what you want to write. You have to understand what you're writing. You have to respect the genre and what came before you. But on the other hand, I do like thrilling stuff. I like adventures. I think things should be life or death in these adventures. And I get scared easily, which means I know what's scary. I'm not numb to scary stuff. So I feel like I was able to still channel that. And I'm not sure if in earlier videos you saw my husband, Scott, walking about, but he is a massive horror fan. So I would give him the odd thing to look over and go, is this scary enough? And yeah, so I think that was probably the most challenging part of the book. Oh wait, somebody's saying, oh wow, there is so much here. Oh my gosh. Sorry guys, Hot Topic eventually discontinues items. Oh, that's annoying. Thank you though for the sad information, Grudging Kitty. I agree, Matt Hutter, I want all the plushies of everybody. Who was the hardest character to write for? From Kaylee. Oh no. Honestly, they were all kind of. This is a cop-out answer, but they really weren't. I really felt. I don't know. This is one of the reasons I'm so pleased that I get to be about the project. Everything really clicked for me. I really had a good time. Maybe, and it's not. I mean, he's not a character from the game. So if you haven't read it, you would know what I'm talking about. But Buddy's grandfather, I think. I wanted to make sure that A, I got the Polish right, and B, that he communicated, but not sort of in a stereotypical can't speak the language. Like, I just wanted him to be, feel real. And I think that probably challenged me the most. How much fun did you have? I had so much fun. I had a lot of fun. And it's a good thing because I had to write it really fast. So yes, I had a lot of fun. I can't tell you anything about future books or anything like that. I'm really sorry, guys. Oh, why am I here? I'm really sorry. That's too bad. I mean, I know that the Joey Drew Studios website has merch, like the actual Meatly like website that has merch on it. I wonder if they would ship internet like to where you are. It might be worth having a look. Like just go to joeydrewstudios.com because I've gotten merch off of there myself. Oh, Nightshade, please don't. Yeah, no, trust me, I understand that challenge. So don't even worry about it if you can. I mean, ebooks are generally cheaper, and I know people never has a reader, but you could read it off the computer screen possibly. But yeah, no, I get it. I get it. But don't worry about it. It's okay. Some reviews tell you plot points if you're curious. Oh, hi, Mark. Well, I read a follow-up to the Friday Society. Not as of yet, no. The Friday Society is a young adult book I wrote. Wow, when did it come out? Like 2013? A while ago now. I do have a whole plan for a sequel, but yeah, not yet. Mr. Voidman. Yes, I do remember the meme. I love when people make memes. It's my favorite. So thank you. Kat, how many times did you go back and edit things around? The book is so powerful. Oh, thank you. Gosh. There was a lot of editing, but it was also pretty fast. I don't know. It was one of those kind of magical moments where things really clicked. I went probably a couple rounds with my editor at Scholastic, and then the guys read it, and then we went a couple rounds with them just to clarify things and make sure all was Bendy-tastic. So yeah, I guess maybe like 4 total and 2 per, like, twice with my editors and then twice with them. But we did have a lot of prep as well. There was a lot of conversation and like I would plot out a story and then they would sort of say that we like this, let's work on this. So there was a lot of prep that also helped the writing of it. I also just generally, by the time I'm ready to write, and this is not like everybody has their own process, but by the time I'm a pretty clean writer, and I sort of edit as I write. Now I think a lot of people find that tedious. I think honestly my advice is to do the opposite of me, just write and then edit because you can get stuck. But yeah, so it sort of means it goes along. So it's a hard question to answer, which is why I'm hemming and hawing and kind of like that. Devil, you're welcome. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to... It keeps jumping. It's very frustrating. Frank and I about cosplaying. Do I plan to... I wasn't, but I do like so for Halloween this year, I did 2 different universes. I did Hope Van Dyne, like pre-Wasp, just in her suit from Ant-Man, and then I was 1970s Wonder Woman. So I am a fan of dressing up and doing cosplay. And when I was in the steampunk world a lot more, I would do that. I'd love to. I don't know. Like, now, you didn't ask this, but now I'm like, who would I cosplay? I mean, obviously Alice Angel feels like the best choice because I like her style. But honestly, I adore the projectionist. That would be way too much work, and I know I wouldn't be able to do it. But in like a dreamland where I was a really good cosplayer, that would be kind of fun. Oh, guys. Aw, sorry, it's Devil Darling and Cartoon Kid talking about like getting emotional and crying. That's like, it's the best and worst feeling as an author. It's like, I made you cry. I'm a horrible person. But it's also amazing. I'm really glad I made myself cry. I got really invested in these characters, so it's nice to see that translates. Mr. Void, excellent. All the memes. Okay, I think I've caught up to all the questions here. Oh, there we go. Norman! Yes, I agree. I'm planning on making more memes. Oh no! Yeah, the spoiling thing. Oh, you're talking about your memes and spoiling. Yeah, it is tricky, and I try to post warnings too when I retweet stuff, because we want to not spoil things, but it's so hard, especially with the biggest aspects, and I'm going to spoil here. The biggest thing of it, which is there's just you guys are so creative. the artwork and the stuff you guys come up with is just incredible. Yes, I agree, Alicia. The good kind of crying. They call it pathos, which is actually where pathetic comes from. And I feel like sometimes I'm the only one who uses pathetic, not in that's so pathetic, but in the pathos way, which is sort of like this cry, this sort of the pathos of it all. But a good cathartic cry feels great. Sometimes you just want to read a book or put on a movie, and it's going to make you cry at the end, and it always does. So yes. Oh, hello. I hope I don't pronounce this wrong. Eluenza. Hi. I know you speak French and English incredibly well, though. Really? That is so impressive. I took French immersion, so that's why I sort of once in a while can reply to your tweets. And I remember trying to read books, but they were not like this book. They were very, very, very simple books in French. And I think I once the Petit Prince I read, but it was really hard, and then I just reread it in English and stuff. So yeah, I'm very impressed, and thank you. I am honored. Yeah. Sorry, and now I'm just reading. I'm not like I should keep talking. Aren't I good at talking? I'm just like it's sort of like I always thought that would be my superhero power, just talk. But yes, Devil Darling, yeah, when you write. Well, just because you're so in the moment, and so when you're writing and you're into it, and then you think in the future. But don't let that prevent you. You have to throw all the crap at your characters. Don't make their lives easy. Even if it's a happy ending, you still have to put them through the ringer, which I have to admit I quite enjoy doing. No spoilers, no spoilers. Oh, thank you, Kat. Oh, yes, you do very good voices of Buddy. No, I almost thought my Brooklyn accent was going a little too far. Oh, good, thank you. I'm glad I said it. I said it correctly. And I'm with Alicia. Yeah, your artwork is sensational. And don't forget, I want that sketch. Gotta get in that angst. Cartoon Kitty, exactly. Oh my gosh, you have an Irish accent. That's amazing. I'm glad I know that. Now I won't make any characters Irish in future readings because my Irish accent is not. I did have a roommate who was Irish for a year, and I got better at it. Because you guys, like North Americans, you actually do it's called the rhotic R, where you go R, as opposed to the British. You they skip over. Oh, now I was about to do it over the R's. So it was easier for me to get the Irish accent. That's the acting side of me coming out. So I will say I've auditioned for the odd Ubisoft project with an Irish accent, but didn't get it. All right, I'm going to sign off in probably like 5 minutes because we've been at this a good hour, and I'm having way too much fun, so I should probably go and, as we were talking earlier, do some of my own chores. But does anybody else have any last questions? I'm enjoying Cartoon Kitty with the good old angst. Oh gosh, I just hit this thing, speaking of angst. How long have I been writing for? I have been writing for my whole life. I started writing even before I could write. I would tell my dad stories, and he would type it up on the very old computer. And then I would just write. And my dad taught creative writing. Both my parents were English teachers, but he taught creative writing as well. So I would write and write and write. And then when I was around 13, I started writing a book because I was being bullied, and I was very sad. So I'd come home and sort of escape to that world that I created. And that really was the first time I wrote really, really long form. I never finished it, but it was about pirates. And then in 2005, I started writing Alex and the Ironic Gentleman, my first book, and I didn't stop. And it kept going and going and going and going, and it's for 8 to 12-year-olds, and I loved it. And I love books that for that age range. I'm a huge Harry Potter file and Series of Unfortunate Events and older books, Phantom Tollbooth and everything like that. So I wrote Alex and the Ironic Gentleman, and I got an agent from that first book. So all of this is very lucky and kind of an obnoxious story because normally it's not quite so fast. And I sold that book, and it came out in 2007, and that was Baby's first book. And And so I've been published, I've had books published ever since. I've written about, I think, 13, lucky number 13, and there are currently 9 published. So you see, we all get rejected, is the point of that story. Yeah, oh no, don't, please. Even I have forgiven my bullies, and some of them are actually, it was one of those things we were, people were testing boundaries and being mean, but I will say we were able to, like several years later, work through it, and we had some real heart-to-heart conversations. They apologized and changed their behavior, because you don't just apologize, you also have to change the behavior, which is a big part of it. And now, yeah, some of them are still my friends to this day, so no slapping, but just, let's not do it. let's try to be nice to people, and even if we're not, even if we realize we don't really get along or anything, let's just be kind and empathetic and just not hang out as opposed to being actively mean, I think. Oh, there's more things. What do you find is the most challenging part of your writing? Getting ideas, drafting, editing. Oh gosh, they're all pretty challenging. I don't know. I think they're all really challenging. I think getting ideas, though, might be the hardest, because I get so many ideas. So to know which one you're going to stick with, which one you're going to actually spend months you got to be able to stand the characters and just be able to, like what you're doing. So to find that idea, I think that's I think that's probably the most challenging. The rest of it is just hard graft. And sometimes it's really fun, and sometimes it's just hard, and sometimes physically, like just typing and bent over, it's physically painful and it's mentally painful. So yeah, the rest of it is just tough, but super rewarding and super worth it. Are you excited for Bendy in the Dark Revival? Yes. Sorry, I think my voice just cracked. Yes, I am excited for Bendy in the Dark Revival this year. Am I going to do more horror novels? I think I'd like to. Yeah, the answer to that is yes, I would like to. Well, okay, I guess if you're slapping them back in self-defense while I'm here, but yeah. Yeah, sorry, we have 2 minutes, and then we should sign off. Yeah, I'm one of the reasons first I'm a huge Archie fan, but one of the reasons I watched the new Sabrina series, and I'm trying to watch more scary stuff, is because I am interested in writing more horror. And, okay, I don't know age ranges here, so I don't want to get in trouble from any parents or anything, but if you are of an age that can handle a great deal of graphic violence, and are cool with subtitles, unless you do speak Korean, Kingdom, which is a TV show on Netflix, is a Korean TV show, and it's set in the 16th century, and it's all about zombies, but in the 16th century. And I'm very pleased and proud of myself for having watched it, though I closed my eyes for extensive sequences. But it's really good. Put it on subtitles, not dubbing, because the dubbing, it's so much better with subtitles. But it is, grown up gore, so, okay? Alicia, yes, absolutely. Get back into the writing, but I'm also really impressed with the music creation. I'm sure if you can see, I've got the guitar and the piano, but I'm not I will never play publicly, but I enjoy it as a hobby. I like playing, so if you can actually create your own music, oh my gosh, that's so impressive. You should do it. So yeah, okay guys, so it's 3 o'clock according to at least my computer and my time zone. So I am going to go, but this was way too much fun and you guys let me talk so much, which is so kind of you, because I do love talking. I hope I know I did enjoy the reading, and I think I have not played Animal Crossing at all, no, but I feel like I should at least, I don't even know what it's about. I really should look it up. I feel very out of it. Thank you. Oh, Kat, yes, and please do. Please, just go back to writing. When you just feel it in the moment, just do it. Just do it, as Nike tells us. So yes, so I'm going to go, I'm going to say bye. Boris, there we go. Boris says bye. Bendy says bye. Dancing Bendy, because his arms move. I'm not sure if you saw that, guys, but his arms and legs move. Says bye. Bye. I say bye. And I'll keep you posted because I had a lot of fun. So we should probably do this again in the near future. I could happily read chapter 2, but oh my gosh, my arms still hurt. All right, guys, I am going to hit the stop streaming button now. And thank you again so much. You guys are awesome. I really enjoyed this. And Bendy fans are the best fans. Okay. Bye. Stop streaming.